Guardians of the Galaxy Rise of Adam Warlock was released in 2007. As you can probably guess, this film would introduce Adam Warlock, who in this timeline is created by a high evolutionary, who, much like Galactus, would just be a giant cloud, to help him in his conquest of the galaxy. However, Adam Warlock ends up turning on him and joins the Guardians of the Galaxy to defeat the high evolutionary. Also, Star-Lord and Gamora will get married in this film. Captain America, the first Avenger, would be initially planned to start off a series of movies that would have gone on to show the origins of various of the Avengers. A Nick Fury film was planned, but ultimately that would have been canceled because this film sucked. Imagine Captain America the First Avenger, just with Ben Affleck and Taylor Chris Evans. Basically, Cap's origin is sped through in the first 10 minutes. He goes on a mission with Bucky, almost immediately dies, and the rest of the film is him teaming up with various World War II era heroes, including Azuri as Black Panther, Namor, Jim Hammond as Torcho, and Ward Meacham, who halfway through the movie gets kidnapped by Red Skull, and during the climax he shows back up as, well, you can see on the poster. Avengers The Initiative would re-released in 2011 and was initially planned to be a reboot of the Avengers franchise, but went on to just become a part of a quadrilogy of prequels set before the original trilogy. Taking place in the 1960s, this film introduces us to Nick Fury Sr., the father of Nick Fury from the original trilogy, played by Michael Fassbender, as he puts together the Avengers to take on AIM, which, in this universe, while technically being owned by Sony, they can be used by other studios because AIM kind of is villains for multiple Marvel heroes. The Avengers lineup would be Hellcat, Evan Peters as Quicksilver, Alexander Skarsgård as Thor, Brandon Rogers as Iron Man, and taking the role of Mystique, Madam Mask. The leader of AIM, rather than being MODOK, because Fox would probably think he'd be a bit too goofy, is instead led by Alexander Pierce. However, it's revealed during the climax that the true mastermind was actually Count Nefaria, who is the father of Madame Mask and who she was working for the whole time. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, would finally allow Steve Rogers to breathe after the original trilogy. He went from World War II to the ice to just conflict after conflict, taking place after the events of Endgame, following Steve blaming himself for Tony's death. He teams up with Sam Wilson to take on the mysterious Winter Soldier, who, as it turns out, is actually a not dead Bucky Barnes. There was also a cut post-credit scene in which Cap would have gotten a much more comic-accurate costume, but it was cut, and so we had to wait till Iron Fist 3 to see Captain America played by Ben Affleck in a proper comic-accurate costume. But that's for another day.